Supporting NFS security through an IP tables-based firewall is a bit complex. Since NFS does use TCP packets, you can also regulate this service through the TCP wrappers configuration files. Those are the etc/hostallow and hostdeny files, which I've described in other videos. If you have trouble configuring NFS access through a firewall, that's an option. But that would mean you'd have to configure other network system security through TCP wrappers too. So let's see what we can do with IP tables. The issue with NFS is that some of the services don't use a standard TCP IP port. They can vary, so you'll need to fix the ports associated with certain services, specifically the TCP and UDP ports for the LockD daemon, as well as the standard ports for the MountD and StatD daemons. The simplest way to do that is with the following directives, which I've defined in my version of the etc/sysconfig/nfs file. You may need to do a bit more. For example, if you have quotas required on your NFS mounts, say for NFS-based home directories, you may need to configure the rquota daemon port to some available port number. But where are the available port numbers? Just about every TCP IP port number is defined in etc/services. And you don't want to fix a port to something that's already being used. Say you fix it to port 22. Communication for NFS would interfere with communication for the secure shell, and that wouldn't be good. It doesn't particularly matter which port you choose, as long as it's a free port. And once you fix these ports, you'll want to open them up in a firewall. And in other videos, we've described how you can do this with the security level configuration tool. I take the port number and protocol and click OK and add the ports that I need. Just remember to open both TCP and UDP ports for the port numbers as described. Don't forget, security includes the security enhanced Linux settings for your service, and they're available with the Security Enhanced Linux Management tool. I describe the NFS related directives here. The first option is pretty important. It supports NFS reading of temporary directories. The next option supports NFS access to public file transfer service directories, such as FTP services. The following options are critical. If you want read-only access to an NFS share, this needs to be activated. If you want read-write access to an NFS share, you need to activate this option. You don't want to disable Security Enhanced Linux protection for any NFS-related service unless absolutely necessary. And this last option allows the mounting of home directories from remote NFS services.